Welcome to Wicked Tales Unfold, where fear takes form and the unknown becomes reality. But before we start, if you want more amazing stuff like this, then be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Also, if possible, share this video with your friends. Now, without wasting any more time, let's begin with the story. Fog rolled over the backroads of Prince George's County, swallowing the narrow strip of cracked asphalt that led to Crybaby Bridge. The air smelled of rain and old wood, and somewhere beyond the trees, a whippoorwill sang a lonely tune. Mia Torres sat in the passenger seat of the van, her fingers tightening around a small digital recorder. She'd heard stories before: ghosts, shadow people, haunted houses, but this one was different. Locals called it the Goatman's Bridge, and every version of the legend ended the same way, with someone disappearing. Still, Mia wasn't here to believe, she was here to film. Their small team of investigators had made a name for themselves online: Echo Watch Paranormal, a channel that turned folklore into midnight adventures. Mia led the group, but tonight, even she couldn't shake the unease in her stomach. Beside her, Ethan Reed, the cameraman, leaned forward to capture footage of the trees whipping past. "You feel that?" he asked quietly. "Like the air's heavier out here?" From the backseat, Lena Brooks groaned. "Yeah, it's called humidity. Not demons." Tyler Grayson, the group's self-appointed daredevil, laughed from behind the wheel. "Come on, guys. This is Maryland, not Mordor. It's just another bridge." But as the van rolled to a stop, silence filled the forest, thick and unnatural. Even the night insects had gone quiet. Crybaby Bridge loomed before them, weathered boards stretched over a narrow ravine, the wood blackened with age. Rusted metal signs warned: "No trespassing. Danger. Structure unsafe." The water below was still and dark, mirroring the pale glow of the moon. "Perfect," Mia murmured, forcing a smile. "Ethan, start rolling." He raised the camera, the red light blinking alive. Mia stepped forward, brushing her dark hair from her face. "We're standing on Crybaby Bridge, one of Maryland's most infamous haunted sites. Locals claim a creature called the Goatman stalks these woods, mimicking voices to lure its victims. Tonight, we're finding out what's fact and what's folklore." Her voice echoed faintly through the fog. And then, beneath the echo, came a second voice, quieter, slower. Repeating her words back. Mia froze. Ethan glanced up. "Did you hear?" "Probably the acoustics," Lena interrupted quickly. She forced a laugh, but her voice cracked at the edges. "Bridges do that. Sound bounces." Tyler grinned. "Let's make it official." He cupped his hands and shouted into the darkness, "Hey, Goatman. You out here?" His voice carried over the ravine, then faded. A few seconds later, it came back. But this time, the echo wasn't exact. It repeated with a strange cadence, distorted, like someone trying to imitate the words but not quite understanding them. Mia's camera picked up a faint bleating sound, almost human. Tyler laughed nervously. "Okay, that's creepy." Mia lowered the recorder. "All right, everyone stay close. We film one take, then we go meet the sheriff." The headlights of a pickup truck broke through the fog behind them. Sheriff Dale Harker stepped out, his flashlight beam slicing through the mist. His face was carved with lines of exhaustion, the kind that come from too many nights remembering something you wish you could forget. "You kids picked the wrong place for a field trip," he said gruffly. "Bridge is condemned. You shouldn't be out here." Mia nodded respectfully. "We just want to record a short segment. 10 minutes, tops. Locals still talk about disappearances out here. We want to tell the real story." The sheriff's expression darkened. "There's no story to tell. You want something real. Listen to this. My partner and I came out here in '93 after 2 teens went missing. Found their car by the tree line. Doors open, engine still running." He paused, scanning the woods. "Never found them." The group went silent. Even Tyler didn't joke this time. "People say they hear voices out here," Harker continued. "Voices that sound familiar. It's not an echo. It's something trying to become you. It calls to you until you answer. That's when it takes you." He dropped his gaze to the bridge. "If you hear it call your name, don't answer." Mia nodded slowly, taking mental notes for the narration. She didn't believe in monsters, but she respected fear. It had a rhythm, and tonight it was everywhere. "Thank you, Sheriff. We'll be careful." Harker looked unconvinced. Be quick, and don't wander past the bridge. He turned and disappeared into the fog. The group set up their equipment. A small LED light, a microphone, a handheld camera. The fog swallowed the edges of the bridge, turning it into an endless gray tunnel. Ethan tested audio levels. Lena checked her phone. No signal. Tyler, restless as ever, wandered a few steps toward the railing. I heard if you drop a coin into the water and it hits something solid, you can hear the Goatman's bell ring. Don't, Mia warned. He laughed. What's the worst that could happen? The coin clinked once, then silence, then a splash, too heavy to be from a coin. Ethan swung his camera toward the sound. Did something move down there? The fog thickened, pulsing like breath. And from below the bridge came a faint whisper, a voice that wasn't quite human. It said, Tyler. Everyone froze. Tyler's smile faded. Who's down there? The voice repeated his name, clearer this time, and closer. Lena grabbed his arm. It's someone messing with us. But Mia's instincts screamed otherwise. There was no wind, no echo, just that voice, weaving through the mist like silk. Tyler leaned over the railing, trying to shine his flashlight downward. Hello. The beam cut through the fog, and hit something pale standing in the water. 2 horns, a twisted silhouette, eyes that glowed faintly red beneath the surface. Back away, Mia shouted. Tyler stumbled backward, dropping his flashlight. It rolled across the planks and stopped near the edge. The beam flickered, illuminating damp hoofprints leading up the bridge, but there was no sound of footsteps. Only breathing. Close. Mia forced herself to stay calm. We're leaving. Now. No one argued. Ethan packed the camera with shaking hands. Lena clung to her backpack. Tyler tried to joke, but his voice cracked. As they crossed back toward the van, the forest came alive again. Insects, frogs, distant owls, as if the night had been holding its breath. Mia exhaled slowly. We're done here. But just as Ethan turned off the camera, the faint crackle of his microphone came through the speaker. A voice whispered, Don't leave yet. They spun around. The bridge was empty. Then, from somewhere deep in the fog, Mia heard her own voice, her exact voice, saying, We're done here. The others stared at her. Mia, you didn't just say that, did you? Lena whispered. Mia shook her head. No one moved for a long moment. Then, behind them, something in the fog laughed, low, rough, and broken. Fog coiled through the trees like smoke, swallowing the faint light of the group's van headlights. For a long time, none of them spoke. Mia stood beside the van, staring back at the bridge. The boards looked ordinary again. Wet, old, empty, as though nothing had happened. Yet the echo of her own voice still lingered in her ears, replaying like a memory that didn't belong to her. Ethan broke the silence first. Tell me that was a prank. Please. Lena shook her head, her face pale. That wasn't you, Mia. That was something else. Tyler forced a shaky laugh. Maybe it's one of those sound traps. Like sound bouncing off the water. Ethan shot him a look. Sound traps don't talk back, Tyler. Mia pressed her palms against her eyes, grounding herself. All right, we all heard it. That means we caught it on audio. We'll review the recording and then. A metallic thud interrupted her. Something had hit the van. They spun around. A coin, the same one Tyler had dropped into the water, rolled to a stop beside Mia's boot. The surface was wet and cold, as though it had just been pulled from the river. No one spoke. Lena whispered, We're leaving. Right now. No one argued this time. Tyler started the engine. The van's headlights cut through the mist for a moment, but as they turned onto the dirt road, the fog seemed to thicken, closing behind them like a wall. The radio crackled. Static at first, then faint voices. Mia leaned forward. Ethan, is that your mic feed? He checked the equipment. It's off. The static grew louder, shaping into fragmented words. Don't answer. The same warning the sheriff had given. Tyler reached for the radio knob, but the moment his fingers touched it, the voice changed, now whispering his name. Tyler. The van swerved. Stop. Lena shouted. Tyler slammed the brakes. The van screeched to a halt on the gravel road, headlights illuminating a shape standing in the middle of the path. At first, it looked like a deer, tall, still, head bowed. Then it straightened. Its limbs were too long. Its shoulders too human. And its eyes burned red through the fog. It raised one hand, human fingers ending in blackened tips, and pointed toward the group. Then it stepped back into the mist and was gone. Tyler's breathing quickened. That was a person. It had to be. No person moves like that, Ethan said quietly. Mia looked down the empty road. We're turning around now. But when Tyler tried, the van refused to start again. The engine whined once, then died completely. Batteries dead, Lena asked. Ethan frowned. It was fine 5 minutes ago. Tyler tried again. Nothing. The forest pressed closer, every shadow stretching, every sound amplified. In the distance, something splashed, a heavy step in shallow water. They sat in silence, waiting for the noise to fade. It didn't. Mia grabbed her flashlight. We'll walk to the sheriff's truck. It's maybe half a mile back. No way, Lena whispered. You saw that thing. It's safer than staying here with no power. Reluctantly, they agreed. They stepped into the fog. The world beyond the van felt different, muted, like the sound had been drained out of the air. Their flashlights carved narrow tunnels through the mist, each step crunching over gravel that seemed to echo too long. Just stay together, Mia said softly. Ethan kept the camera rolling, more for comfort than evidence. The faint red recording light flickered against the fog like a heartbeat. Halfway down the path, Tyler stopped. Do you hear that? A faint voice drifted through the trees, a woman's voice, crying softly. Lena's eyes widened. It sounds like a baby, Mia finished. The cries grew louder, coming from the direction of the bridge. No, Mia whispered. Don't. But Tyler was already turning toward it, his flashlight trembling. What if someone's hurt? Ethan grabbed his arm. Don't listen to it. That's what it wants. Tyler hesitated, torn between fear and guilt. The sound of the crying twisted into laughter, high-pitched and broken. Mia felt the air change. The temperature dropped sharply, her breath visible again. Then, from the darkness behind them, something whispered in her ear, so close she felt the breath on her neck. Mia. She spun around. No one there. Lena saw her face. What? Mia swallowed hard. It said my name. Who? Before she could answer, the sound of footsteps broke the silence. Not one set. Several. Heavy, uneven, from both sides of the path. Run, Mia breathed. They took off through the fog, flashlights jerking wildly. The path seemed longer than before, twisting in ways it shouldn't. Every shadow looked like something reaching. Somewhere behind them, wood cracked. Ethan turned the camera back for a second, and caught a glimpse of a figure standing in the fog, just beyond the range of light. It moved like a man. But its head was wrong. He kept running. They reached the clearing where Sheriff Harker's truck had been. It was gone. Only tire tracks remained, half swallowed by mud. Tyler doubled over, gasping. He left us. No, Mia said quietly. He wouldn't. Then Ethan noticed something at the edge of the road, a small scrap of cloth caught on a branch. The fabric was torn and dark with something that looked like soot. Lena whispered, what if? Don't finish that, Mia said sharply. They moved toward the tree line, flashlights flickering. And then, suddenly, all three beams blinked out at once. Darkness swallowed them whole. For a few heartbeats, they stood frozen. Then Ethan's camera light blinked back on, dim but steady. In that faint glow, Mia saw something on the ground, fresh hoofprints pressed deep into the mud. But they didn't start or end anywhere. They just appeared. A low hum filled the air. Not quite a sound, more like a vibration under their feet. It built slowly, until Mia realized it was coming from beneath them, from the earth itself. She grabbed Ethan's arm. Back to the van. Now. They ran, not caring which direction anymore, just moving. The hum followed, growing louder, until the ground trembled. When they reached the road again, the van was exactly where they'd left it, headlights dead, windows fogged. But something was wrong. Through the misted glass, a dark shape sat in the driver's seat. Tyler, Mia whispered. He turned slowly, too slowly. His eyes were open, but blank. His mouth hung slightly ajar, and his skin was pale as the fog outside. Ethan reached for the door handle. Mia stopped him. Wait, she said. Tyler blinked once, then twice. Then he smiled, but it wasn't his smile. When he spoke, His voice was layered, one tone human, the other something far deeper, like two things trying to speak at once. "You dropped this." He held up the same coin. It gleamed in the flashlight beam. Lena screamed. The thing that was not Tyler moved, slamming its hand against the glass. Cracks spread across the window like lightning. "Run!" Mia shouted. They stumbled backward, the fog swallowing the van as the glass shattered. Something inside growled. Not animal, not human, and the van's headlights suddenly blazed to life, flooding the road with white light. When their vision cleared, the van was gone. No tire marks, no sound, just fog and silence. Mia stood trembling in the road, clutching Ethan's sleeve. Lena whispered, "What do we do now?" Before Mia could answer, the radio crackled again, this time from Ethan's camera. It was Tyler's voice, but it spoke in a whisper too deep to belong to him. One down. Then the static cut. The forest was silent again. No fog, no light, no sound, just the echo of Mia's own heartbeat in her ears. Ethan's flashlight flickered once and then steadied. He was shaking. So was Lena. None of them could speak. Their breaths came in ragged gasps, hanging like smoke in the cold air. The van was gone. Tyler was gone. But the sound of the engine still seemed to hum in the distance, fading, circling, like something unseen was driving it deeper into the woods. Mia swallowed hard. "We're going back to the bridge." Lena turned to her, terrified. "Why? We need to get out of here." "It started there," Mia said quietly. "And I think it wants us to end there too." Ethan hesitated. "You think this thing, the Goatman, is tied to the bridge?" Mia nodded. "It mimics. It copies. It's using our voices to pull us back. Maybe it can only exist where the echoes are." The idea sounded insane, but in that moment, it was the only thing that made sense. So they turned back. The mist rolled in again as they approached the river. The old bridge loomed ahead, half shattered, the planks warped and glistening with dew. It looked alive in the moonlight, like something breathing slowly in its sleep. Ethan lifted the camera. The red light blinked. Still recording. Lena whispered, "If we die here, please tell me you'll delete the footage." "Not a chance," Ethan muttered. "This is the story that proves it's real." But Mia wasn't so sure anymore. Some things weren't meant to be proved. She stepped onto the first plank. It creaked under her weight. Below, the dark water rippled though there was no wind. Halfway across, she froze. The crying sound again, faint, distant, came from under the bridge. Lena gripped her sleeve. "Don't look." But Mia already had. Something was moving in the water. Not swimming. Standing. A shape with long, bent legs, half submerged, watching her. The upper half was human enough to recognize, but the head was split by horns that caught the moonlight like silver blades. "Mia," it whispered. Her own voice. She stumbled back, nearly slipping on the slick wood. Ethan caught her, dragging her toward the other end of the bridge. The thing didn't follow. It just stood there, head tilted, listening. Then it mimicked Ethan's voice. "Keep rolling." Ethan froze. That's me." The sound came again, clearer, louder, until the woods around them were filled with his voice repeating the same words over and over. "Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Keep rolling." Lena clapped her hands over her ears. "Make it stop." Mia took a deep breath. "It wants us afraid. Don't give it what it wants." She reached for Ethan's camera. "Play the recording from the start. Maybe there's something we missed." He nodded shakily and rewound the footage. The speaker hissed with static, then crackled to life. Their voices from earlier, the sheriff's warnings, the sound of the bridge creaking. Then, in the background, a low hum. Not mechanical, not human. The same vibration Mia had felt under the ground before. It grew louder the longer the clip played, until the entire camera began to shake in Ethan's hands. Then the screen flickered. For a split second, the image changed, showing not them, but something looking back through the lens. A face, goat-like, smiling. Ethan dropped the camera. It shattered on the wood, the lens spinning off into the fog. The humming stopped, and in the new silence, the thing finally spoke. "One left." The words rolled out across the water like thunder. They ran. Branches tore at their clothes as they stumbled through the trees. Mia could hear Lena behind her, sobbing, whispering prayers under her breath. Ethan was ahead, shouting directions she couldn't understand. Then his voice cut off. When Mia and Lena broke through the clearing, Ethan was gone. Only the camera light remained, blinking weakly in the dirt. Lena fell to her knees. No, no, no. Mia grabbed her shoulders. We keep moving. Lena looked up, tears streaking her face. To where? Mia didn't answer, because in that moment, she didn't know. The forest felt endless, the fog thicker, the stars gone. Every step forward felt like walking in circles. Until finally, they saw it, the sheriff's truck. It was parked beside the road again, headlights off, door slightly open. Mia approached slowly. The driver's seat was empty. The radio crackled softly with static. She leaned in. Sheriff Harker's voice whispered through the speaker. Don't answer. Then another voice followed, hers. We're here at Crybaby Bridge. Her own introduction from hours earlier. The sound looped, playing back fragments of their video, over and over, until both voices began to overlap, fusing into something distorted, something that no longer sounded human. Lena backed away. Mia, stop. It's feeding on it. Mia turned off the radio. Silence. Then she saw it, carved into the inside of the truck door, barely visible under the grime. 3 words, written in shaky letters. It wears us. Mia's pulse quickened. It doesn't just mimic us, she whispered. It becomes us. A twig snapped behind them. They turned. The sheriff stood at the edge of the fog. Only, it wasn't him anymore. His posture was wrong. His head tilted too far. The shadows of horns arched faintly from his silhouette. Mia, it said softly, in the sheriff's voice, layered with her own. Don't run. Lena screamed and bolted into the woods. Mia tried to grab her, but the sheriff thing lunged forward with inhuman speed. Mia ducked under its reach, slamming the truck door shut and diving into the passenger side. She twisted the key. The engine roared to life instantly, as if it had been waiting. She hit the gas. The creature's reflection flashed in the side mirror, red eyes, pale grin, before vanishing into the fog behind her. The road out of Crybaby Bridge seemed endless, but finally, the trees thinned. The first trace of dawn colored the horizon pale gray. Mia didn't stop driving until she reached a gas station miles away. She parked under the buzzing lights, shaking, her hands still gripping the wheel. Her phone had a single bar of signal. She opened the camera app. The last recording auto-synced to her phone. She pressed play. For the first few minutes, it was the same. The group's laughter, their nervous jokes, the bridge in the fog. Then, something new. At one point in the footage, while the camera had been pointed at Mia, a faint shape stood in the background. The same figure. Watching. It had been there the entire time. Mia dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor. And from the speaker, her own voice whispered back to her. Keep rolling. She looked up. In the gas station window's reflection, behind her shoulder, something was standing in the doorway. A tall, horned silhouette. And it was smiling. 1 week later, the local sheriff's department found the abandoned truck near the old highway. Inside, there was no sign of struggle, only a camera, still recording. The footage was mostly fog. At the very end, just before it cut to static, a woman's voice could be heard whispering. It doesn't echo anymore. The file ended there. Locals still say that sometimes, if you stop your car on the Crybaby Bridge after midnight and call out into the fog, you'll hear a woman's voice answer you. They say it sounds like Mia Torres. And if you hear it, whatever you do, don't answer. The tale ends, but the darkness never sleeps. You've been watching Wicked Tales Unfold. Stay curious, stay afraid.